It literally took me 3 days to watch this. Two in parts, and on the third time I had to at least watch it fully because shit, I've never seen a movie this bad. So the Mousetrap is I gotta say this at this point, is basically Mickey Mouse's horror movie. And I did kind of talk about this at the very beginning of the year because for those of you who don't know, on January 1st of this year, Mickey Mouse finally entered the public domain, and it looks like some of these people have actually prepared for this moment because there have been some video game leaks, some movies that were in pre-production or at least made but are being released now due to the fact that, okay, the copyright rule is out, Steamboat Willie is out there, and we could actually put that horror movie out there. And they did, and oh my god, this movie sucked. I'm not even trying to get some views out of this one. I gotta say, okay, for one, I remember back when the whole Winnie the Pooh blood and honey thing was going on. The first one, I didn't like it as much, but I'm like, it's creative. They acknowledge some things within the movie itself where it's like, okay, they created their own story. They use the characters in a way where it's like, okay, this is what happened to the characters. The Christopher Robin origin is the same, but hopefully they can at least try to say, okay, these are real animalistic creatures. So like that, when we see them in modern day, it's like, they're guys in masks. Same thing in this where you see a guy in a Mickey Mouse mask and he's going out there killing people. But the thing is that within this movie itself, this movie doesn't have a good, I wouldn't say story, it doesn't have a good plot. It doesn't even have some good characters because most of these characters are just cliches of stuff you've already seen. And when I say bad movie, I'm talking about bad movie in a way where it's like, okay, I can hear the sound quality change within my AirPods. I put it on a TV where I'm like, okay, I gotta hear it from the TV's perspective. Let me turn up the volume. You see the volume go in one motion and then it just slightly like, you hear the volume go like this where you're trying to speak to something and you don't know whether or not they can hear you. And then it shifts back to like this where it's like, what the fuck was that? Even the dialogue itself where it's like, okay, I gotta look up the ages of some of these guys because there's no way they're acting like this in a movie where you gotta acknowledge the fact that, okay, it's basically parody, but then again, they don't even go in a fun way of saying, okay, we know it's a joke, we know what it is, and at least take itself a bit too seriously. I like the main girl though. Hopefully this doesn't impact her. It looks like she can do something with subpar horror, but I just hope everything within this movie doesn't affect her. But man, there's some cringe dialogue in this to where I'm like, okay, I can accept cringe. I've seen bad movies, but there's a difference between making bad movies and at least trying to say, you know what, let me fix that up or at least try to give a somewhat decent performance. But most of these guys can't even act for shit. Most of these guys act like some of the people in my communications class. And I'm being honest with you, I can make better films with them. Like, there's a scene where you see good cop and a bad cop going back and forth on somebody. And you see this one cop like, so, you're telling me that the guy left you there. He didn't kill you like the rest of your friends, huh? And I'm looking at this, I'm like, dude, you're overacting at this point. And you look more like a Mickey Mouse killer in live action. I swear, no disrespect, but looking at that guy's face, I'm like, you look more like a humanoid mouse than the actual fake mouse we're seeing in this. There's even a scene of dialogue between the characters where it's like two of them separate and it's like, okay, they're going out to have sex, they're doing it to do their thing, horror movie, blah, blah, blah. And you see the group actually saying, okay, guys, bag your cell phones, put them in this bag. And I'm like, okay, one, I'm not putting my cell phone in a bag. Two, I have the right to do anything. And who wrote for these guys? And the guys acknowledge, oh, where are blank and blank? Oh, they went out to the laser tag to do what? They look at each other and they all go, ew. I'm like, bruh, I'm in my 20s. None of us say that to this day. The kills aren't even interesting in this thing too because you see basically this guy is like, I'm gonna kill you, and then the camera cuts black and you don't see the kill at all. And it's like, then why did you make this? Because if you're not going to do anything within the movie itself to acknowledge the fact that, okay, you have a Mickey Mouse character and you're not going to actually have him do some at least interesting kills, then why do it? Why the horror genre? And this thing is cheaply made. Like, I can tell this was made at like a Funplex or a Dave & Buster somewhere because you see all the background arcade characters are actual trademark machines like Pac-Man. You see Angry Birds. You even see Space Invaders where I'm like, okay, that's something. But all these characters, all the plot of this is just terrible. Most of the acting here is bad, and I'm talking about like really bad. I've seen some YouTube creators actually do some better stuff, doing parodies and then stuff like this. I haven't seen Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, but I have a feeling if I watch that, that's gonna be a good cleanser after watching The Mousetrap, so I gotta just say it right here. Don't watch this movie. If you are at least interested, I say go for it. If you want to have fun with it, I gotta say drink to this thing, smoke to this thing. At least you could get a bit of enjoyment out of this. And for the most part, if this movie doesn't have you feeling any justice for any upcoming Mickey Mouse horror movies, we do have another one coming out next year called Screamboat that's actually from the Terrifier crew and the same guys who did the main one, the Grinch horror movie, which I feel like, okay, there's something there. And they're using the actual Steamboat Willie design as a tiny little miniature mouse. Hopefully they could try to do better with that one because I have more confidence in that crew than the crew who did this because this was just terrible. Have you seen The Mousetrap? If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. All my social media is down in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully with a good movie.